Webull stock, trading under the ticker Bull, closed Tuesday's session at $15.63 a share, up a solid 5% on the day. That performance comes after Monday's rally of 7.2% during regular hours and a further 2.3% in the aftermarket. In other words, over the past 48 hours, Webull has strung together back-to-back strong sessions, recovering from the sharp drop we saw at the end of last week. This kind of rebound is exactly the sort of price action that gets traders wondering, is this just a relief rally or the start of another leg higher? There are a few key things going on here that are worth unpacking. First, the broader fintech and crypto-related sector has been showing strength. When you look at peers like Robinhood and Coinbase, both have seen inflows of capital, partly on the back of renewed optimism in digital assets. The Bitcoin ETF market has been attracting fresh inflows, Ethereum has been holding up relatively well, and sentiment has shifted toward the idea that regulatory and institutional barriers are gradually coming down. Webull's positioning as a retail-focused brokerage with crypto capabilities means it naturally benefits from that tide lifting all boats. Second, there's the technical momentum factor. Webull's relative strength rating has been moving up, now sitting in the mid-80s, which puts it in the top tier of stocks in terms of performance against the broader market. In practical terms, that means Webull has been outperforming the majority of stocks out there. For momentum traders and algorithmic models that scan for breakouts, that relative strength can trigger fresh buying interest, and that seems to have been part of the story over the past 2 days. Third, let's not forget the underlying fundamentals and corporate narrative that we've been following in recent weeks. Webull posted its first profitable quarter earlier this year, which was a major milestone. The company also secured a $1 billion equity facility, giving it significant firepower to invest in growth, product expansion, and marketing. The most anticipated near-term catalyst is the planned Q3 relaunch of crypto trading in the US through Webull Pay. If the company can successfully roll that out and capture even a fraction of the volume that competitors like Robinhood have enjoyed during crypto bull phases, it could provide a meaningful new revenue stream. Now, Tuesday's move wasn't triggered by any big company-specific news release, so part of the strength is simply the market breathing a sigh of relief after the prior week's drop. Stocks rarely move in straight lines, and when you have a name that's been trending up overall, sharp pullbacks often attract dip buyers. The fact that Webull held and bounced from the mid-$14 range suggests that buyers are defending that zone. If that level continues to act as a floor, it could set up the stock for a test of resistance around $17 to $18 in the near term. Of course, we can't ignore the possibility of volatility. Rumors have been floating around about potential regulatory changes that might impact operations for brokerage platforms if they materialize. Right now, those remain speculative, and the market doesn't seem to be pricing them as a near-term threat. Still, it's something to keep in the back of our minds because regulatory headlines can move this type of stock quickly in either direction. In the bigger picture, what's interesting is how Webull has been gradually moving into a position where it's not just a trading platform, but part of the broader conversation about the normalization of crypto in mainstream finance. Years ago, offering crypto trading was a differentiator for a brokerage. Now, it's becoming table stakes. That shift means the battle for users will increasingly be about experience, product depth, and integration. Webull's decision to invest in its crypto platform, at a time when sentiment is recovering, could position it well to gain market share. From a trader's perspective, there's an intriguing setup here. On one hand, you've got bullish technical momentum with consecutive up days, a rising relative strength rating, and a sector tailwind. On the other, you have to be aware that rallies can get overextended quickly, and profit-taking is always a possibility. The key will be watching volume and follow-through. If we see continued buying pressure into Wednesday and Thursday, especially if the stock can push through the mid-$16 range and hold above it, that would be a constructive sign. For longer-term investors, the focus is more on the business execution. The first profitable quarter was a big step, but sustaining profitability while investing in growth is the real test. The $1 billion equity facility provides flexibility, but how that capital is deployed will matter. The crypto relaunch will be one of those prove-it moments. If they can scale it effectively, it reinforces the idea that Webull can compete with and potentially outperform other retail brokerage platforms. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, the watch list includes not just Webull's price action, but also broader market sentiment in fintech and crypto. If Bitcoin and Ethereum continue to hold or climb, that sector tailwind should keep benefiting Webull. If we get any updates from the company on product rollouts, marketing pushes, or financial metrics, that could act as another catalyst. In the absence of fresh news, The stock's ability to hold recent gains will tell us a lot about the conviction behind the buying. One more thing worth noting is that in the comment sections and retail investor chatter, there's been increasing speculation about Webull's medium-term potential. Some believe the stock could reach $20 or even $50 if the growth narrative plays out. While those are big numbers, and it's always dangerous to fixate on a single target, it does speak to the growing enthusiasm among the retail base. Enthusiasm doesn't guarantee performance, but in the world of momentum-driven stocks, sentiment can be a powerful driver, especially if it's reinforced by actual business progress. So, to sum up, Webull's two-day rally is the product of a few converging factors: a sector-wide upswing in fintech and crypto, improving technical momentum, solid underlying fundamentals, and the ongoing anticipation of its crypto relaunch. The stock's rebound from last week's drop has been impressive, and the next couple of sessions will be crucial in determining whether this is just a short-term bounce or the start of a bigger move higher. If you've been following our recent discussions on Webull, you'll know that my outlook remains cautiously bullish. I like the direction the company is heading, I see the potential in the upcoming product expansion, and I think the current market environment is supportive. But I also recognize the need to stay disciplined. Momentum stocks can move fast in both directions. For now, the focus is on whether the stock can consolidate these gains and build toward that next test of resistance. As always, I'll be keeping a close eye on both the price action and any new developments from the company. If you're trading Webull, be clear on your time frame and risk tolerance. If you're investing for the long term, keep watching how the story unfolds with profitability, product launches, and user growth. Either way, it's an interesting name to watch right now, and the next chapter in this rally could be just around the corner.